Confused and unhappy, Fireheart made for the warrior's den. Before he reached it, he hesitated. He did not want to risk meeting Tigerclaw, and he wasn't in the mood for sharing tongues with his friends. Instead, almost unconsciously, he headed for the tunnel of ferns that led to Yellowfang's den. Cinderpaw limped out and almost collided with him. Fireheart fell back on his haunches with a thump, and Cinderpaw skidded to a halt, spraying him with snow. "Sorry, Fireheart," she puffed. "I didn't see you there." Fireheart shook the snow off his coat. His heart felt suddenly lighter at the sight of Cinderpaw, her blue eyes sparkling with mischief and her fur sticking out in all directions. This was how she used to look when she was his apprentice. For a while after the accident, Fireheart had been afraid that this Cinderpaw had vanished forever. "What's the hurry?" he asked. "I'm going out to look for herbs for Yellowfang," Cinderpaw explained. "So many cats have been ill, what with all this snow, that her stocks are getting very low. I want to find as much as I can before it gets dark." "I'll come and help you," Fireheart offered. Bluestar had told him to do something useful, and not even Tigerclaw could find fault if he went to collect herbs for the medicine cat. "Great!" Cinderpaw meowed happily. Side by side they headed across the clearing toward the gorse tunnel. Fireheart had to slow his pace to match Cinderpaw's, but if she was aware of it, she didn't seem to mind. Just before they reached the tunnel, Fireheart heard the shrill voices of kits. He turned and stared at the branches of the fallen tree close to the elder's den. A group of kits had surrounded Broken-Tail, who had been given a nest among the branches. Ever since Bluestar had offered shelter to Broken-Tail, he had lived alone in his den with warriors to guard him. Not many cats passed that way, and the kits had no reason to be anywhere near him. "Rogue! Traitor!" That was Cloudkit's voice, raised in a jeering meow. Fireheart watched in alarm as the white kit darted forward, jabbed Broken-Tail in the ribs with one paw, and scrambled back out of range. One of the other kits copied him, squealing, "Can't catch me!" Darkstripe, whose turn it was to guard the blind cat, made no attempt to send the kits away. He sat a fox length away, watching with his paws tucked under him and a gleam of amusement in his eyes. Broken-Tail swung his head from side to side in frustration. With his cloudy, unseeing eyes, he could not retaliate. His dark tabby fur looked dull and patchy, and his broad face was scored with scars, some of them from the clawing that had ruined his eyes. There was no trace of the former arrogant and bloodthirsty leader now. Fireheart exchanged a worried glance with Cinderpaw. Many cats he knew thought Broken-Tail deserved to suffer, but seeing the former leader so old and helpless, he could not help feeling a scrap of pity. Anger began to burn inside him as the taunting went on. "Wait for me," he mewed to Cinderpaw, and hurried over toward the edge of the clearing. He saw Cloud Kit pounce on the blind Tom's tail, worrying it with needle-sharp teeth. Broken-Tail scrabbled away from him on unsteady legs and swiped one paw in his directions. In an instant, Darkstripe jumped to his paws, hissing, "Touch that Kit, traitor, and I'll flay your skin in strips." Fireheart was too angry to speak. Leaping toward Cloud Kit, he grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and swung him around away from Broken-Tail. Cloud Kit wailed in protest, "Stop it! That hurts!" Fireheart dropped him roughly into the snow and let out a low growl with her bared teeth. "Go home," he ordered to the other kits. "Go home to your mothers now." The kits stared at him, wide-eyed with fear, and then scuttled off to disappear in the nursery. "As for you," Fireheart hissed at Cloud Kit. "Leave the kid alone," Darkstripe interrupted, patting up to stand beside Cloud Kit. "He's not doing any harm." "Keep out of this, Darkstripe," growled Fireheart. Darkstripe shouldered past him, almost knocking him over before stalking back to his prisoner. "Kitty pet," he sneered over his shoulder. Fireheart's muscles tensed. He wanted to leap at Darkstripe and force the insult back down his throat, but he stopped himself. This was no time for clan warriors to start fighting each other. Besides, they had to deal with Cloud Kit. "Did you hear that?" he demanded, glaring down at the white kit. "Kitty pet." "So?" Cloud Kit muttered mutinously. "What's a kitty pet?" Fireheart gulped as he realized that Cloud Kit had not yet learned what his origins meant to the clan. "Well, a kitty pet is a cat who lives with two legs," he began carefully. "Some clan cats don't believe that a cat who's born a kitty pet will ever make a good warrior. And that includes me because, like you, I was born in two-legged place." As Fireheart spoke, Cloud Kit's eyes grew wider and wider. "What do you mean?" he meowed. "I was born here." Fireheart stared at him. "No, you weren't," he meowed. "Your mother is my sister Princess. She lives in a two-legged nest. She gave you to the clan when you were very young so you could be a warrior." For a few moments Cloud Kit stood rigid, as if he were a kit made of snow and ice. "Why didn't you tell me?" he demanded. "I'm sorry," Fireheart meowed. I thought you knew. I thought Brindleface would have told you." Cloud Kit backed away a couple of tail lengths. The shock in his blue eyes were slowly replaced with the cold understanding. "So that's why the other cats hate me," he spat. They think I'll never be any good because I wasn't born in this dump of a forest? It's stupid. Fireheart struggled to find the right words to reassure him. He couldn't help remembering how excited Princess had been when she gave her son to the clan, and how he had promised her that Cloud Kit would have a wonderful life ahead of him. Now he was forcing Cloud Kit to think about his past, and the difficulties he would have to have before being accepted by the clan. What if the kid began to think that Fireheart and Princess had made the wrong decision? Fireheart sighed. It may be stupid, but that's the way it is. I should know. Listen, he explained patiently. Warriors like Darkstreak think being a kitty pet is something bad. It just means we have to work twice as hard to make them see that kitty pet blood is nothing to be ashamed of. Cloud Kit straightened up. I don't care, he mewed. I'm going to be the best warrior in the clan. I'll fight any cat who says I'm not. I'll be brave enough to kill outlaws like old Broken Tail. Fireheart was relieved to see Cloud Kit's spirit overcoming the shock of his discovery, but he wasn't sure that the kit really understood the meaning of the warrior code. There's more to being a warrior than killing, he warned Cloud Kit. A true warrior, the best warrior, isn't cruel or mean. He doesn't claw an enemy who can't fight back. Where's the honor in that? Cloud Kit ducked his head, not meeting Fireheart's eyes. Fireheart hoped that he had said the right thing. Looking around for Cinderpaw, he saw that she had gone up to Broken Tail and was checking his tail where Cloud Kit had worried it. There's no damage, she mewed to the blinded Tom. Broken Tail crouched motionless, his ruined eyes fixed on his paws, and he did not respond. Reluctantly, Fireheart went over and nudged the old cat to his paws. Come on, he mewed. Let's get you back to your den. Broken Tail turned in silence and let Fireheart guide him back to where the leaf-lined hollow under the dead branches. Darkstripe watched them shuffle past with a contemptuous flick of his tail. Right, Cinderpaw, Fireheart meowed when Broken Tail was settled. Let's go and find those herbs. Where are you going? Cloud Kit piped up, bouncing over to him with all his energy restored. Can I come? When Fireheart hesitated, Cinderpaw mewed. Oh, let him come, Fireheart. He only gets in trouble because he's bored, and we could do with some more help. Cloud Kit's eyes gleamed with pleasure, and a loud purr arose from his throat, an enormous sound to come from his small, fluffy body. Fireheart shrugged. All right, but put one paw wrong, and you'll be back in the nursery before you can say mouse. Limping steadily, Cinderpaw led the way along the ravine to the hollow where the apprentices had their training sessions. Already the sun was beginning to go down, casting long blue shadows across the snow. Cloud Kit scampered ahead of them, peering into holes in the rock and stalking imaginary prey. How can you find herbs with the snow on the ground? Fireheart asked. Won't everything be frozen? There will still be berries, Cinderpaw pointed out. Yellowfang told me to look for juniper. That's good for coughs and bellyaches. And broom to make poultices for broken legs and wounds. Oh, and alder bark for toothache. Berries? Cloud Kit skittered sideways toward them. I'll find lots for you. He dashed away again in the direction of a clump of bushes growing up the side of the hollow. Cinderpaw flicked her tail in amusement. He's keen, she remarked. Once he's apprentice, he'll learn quickly. Fireheart made a non-committal noise in his throat. Cloud Kit's energy reminded him of Cinderpaw when she was first made apprentice. Except Cinderpaw would never have taunted a helpless cat like blind Broken Tail. Well, if he's my apprentice, he'd better start listening to me, he muttered. Oh yes, Cinderpaw gave Fireheart a teasing look. You're a really tough mentor. All your apprentices will be trembling in their fur. Fireheart met her laughing eyes and felt himself relaxing. As usual, being with Cinderpaw was lifting his spirits. He would stop worrying about Cloud Kit and get on with the job they had come to do. Cinderpaw, Cloud Kit called from farther along the hollow. There are berries here. Come and look. Fireheart craned his neck and saw the white kit crouching beneath a small, dark-leaved bush that pushed its way up between two rocks. Bright scarlet berries grew close to the stems. They look tasty, Cloud Kit mewed, as the two cats drew nearer. He stretched his jaws wide and to take a hungry mouthful. At the same moment, a gasp came from Cinderpaw. To Fireheart's amazement, she shot forward, propelling herself over the snow as fast as her injured leg would allow. No, Cloud Kit! She yelled. She barreled into the kit, bowling him over. Cloud Kit squealed in shock, and the two cats scuffled together on the ground. Fireheart bounded over, anxious that Cloud Kit might hurt the injured Cinderpaw. But as he reached them, she pushed the kit off her and sat up, panting. Did you touch one? She demanded. No, Cloud Kit stammered, puzzled. I was only... Look. Cinderpaw shoved him around until his nose was a mouth length from the bush. Fireheart had never heard her sound so fierce. Look, but don't touch. That's you. The berries are so poisonous they're called death berries. Even one could kill you. Cloud Kit's eyes were round as full moons. Speechless for once, he gazed horrified at Cinderpaw. All right, she mewed more gently, giving his shoulder a couple of comforting licks. Didn't happen this time, but take a good look now so you don't make the mistake again. And never, do you hear me, never eat anything if you don't know what it is. Yes, Cinderpaw, Cloudkit promised. Go on looking for berries then, Cinderpaw nudged the kit to his paws, and call me as soon as you find anything. Cloudkit padded off, glancing back over his shoulder once or twice as he went. Fire couldn't remember seeing him so subdued. Bold as the kit was, he had received a real shock. It's a good thing you were here, Cinderpaw, he meowed, feeling a pang of guilt that he hadn't known enough to warn Cloudkit. He'd learned such a lot from Yellowfang. She's a good teacher, Cinderpaw replied. She shook several clumps of snow off her fur and began padding to the hollow after Cloudkit. Pirate walked beside her once more, slowing his pace to match hers. This time, Cinderpaw noticed. You know, my leg is healed as much as it ever will, she mewed quietly. I'll be sorry to leave Yellowfang's den, but I can't stay there forever. She turned to look at Fireheart. All the mischief had faded from her eyes. Instead, there was pain and uncertainty in the blue depths. I don't know what I'll do. Fireheart stretched over to her and rubbed his face comfortingly against hers. Bluestar will know. Maybe, Cinderpaw shrugged. Ever since I was a tiny kid, I wanted to be just like Bluestar. She's so noble, and she's given her whole life to the clan. But Fireheart, what can I give now? I don't know, Fireheart admitted. The life of a cat could be followed clearly through the clan, from kit to apprentice to warrior, sometimes to queen, and then retired to an honorable old age among elders. Fireheart had no idea what happened to a cat who was injured too badly for the warrior life, for the long patrols, the hunting and fighting that were required of a warrior. Even the queens who cared for kits in the nursery had all been warriors once, the skills that enabled them to feed and defend their little ones. Cinderpaw was brave and intelligent, and before her accident she had shown endless energy and commitment to the clan. Surely that couldn't all be thrown away. This is Tigerclaw's fault, Fireheart thought darkly. He laid the trail and led her to an accident. You should go to Bluestar, he suggested out loud. Ask her what she thinks. Perhaps I will, Cinderpaw shrugged. Cinderpaw! A show me out from Cloudkit interrupted them. Come and see what I found! Coming, Cloudkit! Cinderpaw limped away, mewing good-humoredly to Fireheart as she went. Maybe it's Deadly Nightshade this time. Fireheart watched her go. He hoped that Bluestar would be able to find a way to give Cinderpaw a worthwhile life within the clan. Cinderpaw was right. Bluestar was a great leader, and not just in battle. She truly cared for all her cats. Knowing that, Fireheart felt even more confused when he remembered her reaction to Grapefull's news. Why had Bluestar acted so strangely when he told her that 2 RiverClan warriors had been ThunderClan kits? The story had outraged her so much that she was closing her eyes to danger from Tigerclaw. Fireheart shook his head as he padded slowly after Cinderpaw. There was a deeply buried mystery surrounding those cats, and he was beginning to feel that it might be beyond his power to ever understand it.